Johannesburg's night sky lit up with bold messages of urgency and protest on Wednesday as South Africa prepared to host the first G20 summit ever held on African soil. Activists and artists used high-rise buildings as massive illuminated canvases, projecting striking posters and illustrations to demand action on issues they say what leaders have neglected for too long. From climate accountability and debt relief to women's rights and global inequality. The visual campaign was a collaboration between South African artists and members of the Goslow Actions team who sought to capture international attention on the eve of the high-stakes gathering. Their messages echoed mounting global frustrations that developing nations continue to suffer most from climate disasters and crushing debt, while wealthier countries fall short of financial commitment. Now, see that United Nations Trade Chief Rebecca Greenspan underscored the severity of the debt crisis, noting that 3.3 billion people last year lived in countries spending more on interest payments than on essential services like health or education. The situation, activists say, leaves little room for development or resilience in the face of escalating climate shocks. Skilled Lane Modi, the director of the African Climate Foundation's New Economy Hub, argued that debt relief must be a first priority. The debt is highly and unfairly priced, and it is also killing our chances at development, he said, adding that global leaders must show clarity of voice and courage to secure nations against hunger, climate catastrophe, and to guarantee the dignity of development. South Africa's summit host has signaled its intention to center the concerns of poorer nations over the two-day meeting beginning Saturday. Leaders and top diplomats from more than 40 countries alongside institutions like the United Nations, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and World Trade Organization are expected to confront long-standing divides over climate financing, disaster response, and global economic reform. The issue of climate finance in particular has repeatedly exposed tensions between rich and poor countries at major international summits. Although developed nations agreed at last year's UN climate conference to mobilize at least $300 billion per year by 2035 to help vulnerable communities and countries cope with climate impact. Independent experts say the true need is far greater, as much as $1 trillion annually by 2030. Now, this weekend's summit will take place without one of the world's biggest emitters, the United States, under President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump is boycotting the G20 summit and the gathering, citing widely discredited claims that South Africa is violently persecuting its white Afrikaner minority. The absence is expected to cast a shadow over negotiations already marked by deep mistrust and competing priorities. As activists continue to project their urgent messages across social media across Johannesburg, pressure is mounting on global leaders to deliver tangible results and commitment, not only for the sake of the countries most affected by climate change and economic instability, but for the credibility of the G20 itself. Well, this is the report we're having, and with that, we've come to the end of Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories.